大家好，我是常老师。Our class is a AP Chinese class. This means my job is not only help you to improve your Chinese language skills, but also help you to prepare for your AP Chinese language and culture exam. For this reason, from the beginning, I'm trying to work on this and to help you on this. So on the 2.6 lesson, I have a walkthrough of AP Chinese language and culture exam. And in this lesson, if you look at this video, you must remember how I analyze the AP Chinese language and culture exam, the structure. And we have 50% of multiple choice questions, and another 50% are free response questions. Both parts are very important. And I would like to guide you to start from a free response questions because free response questions guides you to dive deeper on your learning, on your language learning. For that reason, I had this series lectures. For example, on 3.7, we had AP Chinese story narration right strategy. And on 6.4, we have email response strategies and how you respond to emails. On the week 7, I had 2 lessons. One was about the conversation, and another is about the cultural presentation. And during this time, we had a 4.6 mock exam. And on week 8, we had another mock exam. And this is a most recent AP Chinese market test. However, I have some samples to show you why I have this lesson today. Start from question 31. They all are free response questions. And this student, she got a 14 on this part. And you can see this is her writing. Her writing meets most of the requirements of a high-scored story narration. That's the reason she earned 14 on this question. And this part, what I really like is she really wrote an email. Most of you only do this part, and you don't like writing an email. You should respond with an email. And her listening, we're not going to listen to her speaking right now, but I want you to know that the conversation, she did perfectly good. So she earned this 9. And also on the cultural presentation, she did also perfect. This is like a best one for those free response questions. And then the second one, I wanted to show you the score a little bit lower. The writing is not good enough. The story narration and the email, just like I said, you see. But this one is still good because she had 张小玉好 and 祝你好用. He could say his own name at the end. And also he did answer the question, and he could say something more, but he didn't. That's the reason he got 8 out of 10 points. And this is a conversation. We're not going to listen to him as well, but his answer were good. Only a little part not accurate. That's the reason he lost 1 point. And the cultural presentation, he also basically did a good job. However, many of you, when you do the presentation, the recording like this, I feel like you are reading the pinyin. I will talk about this later. So this one is still good. And then this one, I wanted you to know, if you do like this, no problem, you are going to definitely fail. The reason is this student skipped all those important questions, pre-response questions. This is one answer, your answer, nothing. So here I had to put a 0, and email response 0. And then you see the conversation 0. He did do the cultural presentation. The cultural presentation, he did a good job. That's the reason he got a 14, which means that in this 50%, he only got 14%. Those are very, very important. Even 40%, meaning if on the multiple choice questions, he did perfectly correct all the 100% correct, he has that 15% plus this 14%, then this AP Chinese exam is going to be 64%. 64 meaning definitely he's going to fail. So for this reason, we have many students like this skipped some questions or did something. You could do good, but you didn't. That's the reason I'm having this lesson to cover those problems. I want you all trying to reach like this one. So based on those problems you have in the mock exams, I have created this lesson for you to understand and how you can improve your AP Chinese language skills by practicing free response questions. And I decided to do this with 2 or 3 lessons because we can't cover all in one lesson. So this is part 1. Today's agenda, first we're going to talk about the importance of free response questions and the meaning of these questions on your AP Chinese learning, actually on your AP Chinese exam, and how to do your best on free response questions, and how you know how much points and percentage of the full score you can earn by doing what. And also, today we're going to cover this first part, which is improve your language skills by practicing story narration. About the importance, actually, in previous lessons, I already talked about it, like in the story narration, email response, conversation, and cultural presentation. Because like I said many times, in total of the score and free response questions have the full score is 50%. Story narration is 15%, cultural presentation 15%, email response 10%, and conversation is 10%. And story narration, email response, and cultural presentation, you only do one work. Answer one question, you earn so much. On the conversation, you're going to answer 6 questions. However, on the multiple choice questions, when you have 10 to, for example, on the listening part, rejoinders, you have 10 to 15 questions, meaning the most you answer by answering one question, you earn 1 point. However, on this one, you answer one question, you're going to earn 15 points. You answer this question, you're going to earn 15%. Besides, this is not what they say. It's what you know and you say. So it's much easier to earn those important points. And to just write an email, to answer a question somebody asks you, or just answer 6 questions, you earn 10%. This is the reason you really need to know those free response questions are very, very important in your AP Chinese exam. And the meaning of those questions in AP Chinese exam is they want to evaluate your Chinese language skills and cultural competencies. How? One is, it's 3 parts. It's 3 parts. One is interpretive skills, interpersonal skills, and another is presentational skills. On the interpretive skills, they want to evaluate how you identify main ideas, details, audience, purpose, and the point of view. They want to know how you infer implied meaning through context. They want to know how you connect the text to the target culture. Actually, it's Chinese culture. Interpersonal skills, they want to evaluate how you participate in oral and written exchanges, how you understand the interlocutor and elaborate answers, how you write correspondence using the appropriate styles. And on the presentational skills, they want to evaluate how you narrate a story to demonstrate a clear progression of idea using appropriate transitional expressions. On the cultural presentation, they want to know how you create a short written and oral presentation discussing an aspect of Chinese culture. So those are the meaning of free response questions in AP Chinese exam. And then the tips, the strategies, actually, like I said, I already talked about those in previous lessons. And here I wanted to emphasize this part. How to do your best on these free response questions. Number 1 tip is do not skip anything, because you skip one question is 10% or 15% out of your full score. You never want to skip anything. Number 2, you need to know how much points and percentage out of your and by doing what. Precisely, by answer all of them, you can earn from 1 to 6 points, which is 2 to 15% on the story narration and cultural presentation, and 2 to 10% on the email response and conversation. Then if you have keywords and main idea, keywords is very, very important. Keywords and main idea, even if you do the worst, is you earn 2 points. The 2 points is 5% or 3%, 5% out of story narration and cultural presentation, and 3% on the email response and conversation. If you can demonstrate a well-organized structure, a beginning, a main part, and an end, the worst you can get 3 points. It's 8% of story narration and cultural presentation. It's 5% of email response and conversation. So if you can organize your structure like this, you have a beginning, a main part, and an end. If you provide accurate and necessary details, you will definitely earn 4 to 6 points. If you earn 4 points, then you have 10% of 15% of this part. You have 7 on the email response with and a conversation. And then the last part is you have correct Chinese grammar, smooth transition, and accurate idioms or proverbs. Those earns you even more. So you definitely will get like a 4 score. So 15%, you are guaranteed to get it. So I want you to understand the basic is answer all of them, meaning you're not going to earn a 0, and have your keywords. Try to demonstrate a well-organized structure, either in your writing and in your speaking. You have to have a beginning, a main part, and an end. And then you provide accurate and necessary details. If it's not necessary, sometimes when you do too much, it's just the waste of time. And then make sure you can do the Chinese grammar and the transitions are correctly. And also, if you can provide some idioms and proverbs. We're gonna start to go to details about those, how you can earn how much points, and by doing what. Start by doing the story narration. The story narration is how can you, first I wanted to talk about how you can benefit from working on a story narration. First, story narrations cover all kinds of possible topics and scenarios, which guide you to use Chinese in all those topics. Second is think the scenarios that the pictures depict, because those pictures guide you, so you don't have to feel like don't know what to talk. They have the scenarios already in the pictures, depicted in the pictures. This is what you have to talk about. And then describe the scenes with the depicted details. And then you're going to try to quickly write a draft. And then you practice how to organize your writing and edit your writing. In addition, you can also improve your reading and speaking by reading your story, not pinyin, but Chinese characters. I realize because some of you when you do the presentation in the assignment, I see you are reading, and I know some of you are reading not characters but pinyin. This is really not a good habit, because on your Chinese exam, you don't see pinyin. You only need pinyin to know how to type characters. Even when you type, you need to recognize which character, which words you need. So please remember, you want to read Chinese characters, not pinyin. And also by presenting, tell your stories in a video or to someone. So this is how you can benefit from working on a story narration. So now we're going to talk about how to conceive a story based on pictures. So we're going to use this set of pictures. We say simply you understand this set of pictures, not that hard to understand. This one girl, 2 boys, 2 men, they are eating. And after eating, the waiter brings the bill, and it looks like they don't have the money. See, she has the key, but she doesn't have the wallet. And then this man showing his pockets, like, I don't have anything. And this man says, I don't have a pen as well. So they don't have anything. And he or she is calling to somebody. And then this somebody comes here to pay the bill for them. This is what we see, and how we're going to conceive a story based on this set picture. Let's take a look. We're going to do one by one. First, you're going to identify characters. Identify characters, and then you see, totally we have 3 main characters. And then one waiter, this one looks like a cashier, and then this person. So those are the characters. We have 6 characters. And then you're going to have build the relationship with them. Obviously, they are not the same kinds of people. She looks like Asian, and he looks white, and he looks like Latino. So obviously, you can't say like they are families, but they can be friends or schoolmates or classmates. This man is Asian, and when she can call him to ask for money, definitely their family. Could be father, could be grandpa. By the age, we can define as a grandpa. And then the other 2 are the waiter and the cashier. So we have the characters, relationship, and relationships, classmates, and the family, and then the waiter with the cashier. So this is the first one. And also by the possible age and or the jobs that we can say like they are like college students, because if they're working, they shouldn't have money always in their pockets. That's just a guess. And then the scene, on this scene, because the style and the dishes we can identify, it's a Chinese restaurant. And then the time, you're going to decide. And here, for example, you can say 周五下午放学后. After school, because they're college students, after school and on Friday, you need to give the main characters names. So like this girl, I call her 小玉. This white man, we can call him 大卫. And this Latino man, we call him Jamie. In English name like Jaime. So they met, and happy to see each other. And Xiaoyu suggested to have dinner together in a restaurant nearby. So you get this scene. 他们相遇，真是难得一聚。于是小玉提议大家一起去附近一家nearby 中国饭馆 Chinese restaurant 一起吃饭。饭馆里面挂着中国灯笼，很雅致。None of you mentioned about this part, but I would like you to mention because they appear in the pictures. The detail, they ordered 4 dishes. Actually, not really clear in the images, but basically you can see this is a fish, this is dumpling, this is noodles. And this one you don't know, you can just guess. So my guess is fish, noodles, dumplings, and fried broccoli with chicken, and they have rice and Chinese tea. So 他们点了清蒸鱼、面条、西兰花炒鸡肉、米饭和茶。每一道菜 all the food are delicious. 每一道菜都十分美味，他们吃得很开心。So you have this description and start the beginning for this story. The second image is what's happening. They ate all the food, obviously, and about to leave, the waiter shows them the bill. And then the girl, she's showing she has a key, but she said, I don't have the money. And then David doesn't have a penny because he's showing his pockets. And Jaime had an empty wallet. They are embarrassed and don't know what to do. So you're going to describe, say, 吃完饭后，服务员把发票给了他们。这顿饭很贵。小玉这时发现自己没带钱，大卫竟然1分钱都没带。杰米的钱包也是空空如也。空空如也 is an idiom。这下3人大眼瞪小眼。大眼瞪小眼 ，this is a proverb。不知所措 ，another idiom。服务员也为难地看着他们 ，Phil, what should I do? You guys don't have money. What should I do? So this is the scene 2. Scene 3. What's happening? 小玉 think that it was her suggested to have dinner together, so she decided to call her grandpa to help them to pay for the dinner. So 小玉觉得是自己提议大家一起吃饭的，于是她决定给爷爷打电话，请他帮忙付饭钱。Yeah, the picture shows that she is calling grandpa and ask her about the money. This one is a little bit easy. And then how the story ends? 小玉's grandpa come to the restaurant. He shows up here and paid for the dinner. You can see. Grandpa told her, because obviously he's looking at her and said something. What if I was too busy to come here? 小玉, David, and Jaime, they feel so sorry and embarrassed. And David, like he's saying something. So David told Jaime and Xiaoyu that they should pay back to Xiaoyu's grandpa. Jaime and Xiaoyu agreed. And then the cashier of the restaurant looked at them and smiled. She's smiling. So this is what we see in this last picture. Based on this analysis, you can start to write and say, 小玉的爷爷很慷慨 very general, 也为小玉而着急 you imagine only family worries for you so much. So when he got the call from the granddaughter, okay, I got to help her. So 接到电话后不到半小时 we give a time 不到半小时 less than 30 minutes 他就赶到餐馆 He rushed to the restaurant. 他一边为小玉和他的2位朋友结账，一边回头提醒他，一边 we talk about those words, okay? 一边 doing something. You do something while doing something. He was paying the bill and looking back, reminding her, talking to her. 以后出门要带着钱包哦。Take your wallet when you go out. 万一我有事来不了怎么办 In case I can't, I was too busy, I was doing something else, I couldn't come, what did he do? 小玉连连点头答应 Nod the head, said, okay. And David 和 Jamie 真的有点无地自容 This is another idiom. 无地自容 meaning feel shamed. And you learned this one. Feel like nowhere to go. 大卫悄悄对 Jamie 和小玉说 Looks he's talking. 我们要找机会把钱还给爷爷 We need to find a time to pay the grandpa back. Jamie 和小玉点头同意了 Say, You're right. 餐馆收银员看着他们手足无措的样子笑了 She's looking at them and smiling. So this is the end.